Hello, how you doing? Who's that? Who's that? Anthony and MK Ultra and Vagatti? Litecoin Hodl. That's all I'm calling you. I can't. I don't know if you want me to call you SLV Hodl or just Silv Hodl. I'm so confused by your name. I literally lose sleep at night. But you know what I mean. Love you. I hope the lighting's okay. I know it's a little dark. That's one other reason why I just cannot wait till I move into my place. I wanted to talk about a few things. Now, I know people hate it. I know why people join my channel. I know why people tune in. And that's to hear silver. That's to hear prepping. And frankly, we need to know. I'm going to just get, I'm actually on a couch here, just relaxing after a long day of work. The news is so fundamental to why we stack silver, gold, and prep. It is so important. And there's no sense in talking about silver, gold, prepping, or even cryptos without talking about news. You need to know why you're doing it. We're not just stacking silver for the hobby, for the sake of stacking silver. We're not doing a long-term food storage for the sake of the fun of it. The reason why can be found in the news. Democrats, they received Mueller's report. They're not happy with it. I need to repeat this to you. Normally, a crime is discovered, and then an investigation of the crime takes place. Do you understand that? Normally, a crime is discovered, and then the investigation of the crime takes place. There has been no crime from Trump. And before everybody starts beating me up, oh, you're just nothing but a Republican. That's my best redneck accent I can do. You're just a Republican. No, I'm not. I'm not a Republican. That's what's so surprising. It surprises people when they hear I'm not a Republican. I'm not a Democrat. I'm neither. And trust me, if Trump did something wrong, I would beat him up. But there's been no crime. They're investigating the man. They're not investigating a crime. When you investigate a man with no crime, you're searching for a crime. That is called a witch hunt. So the Democrats, they ordered the IRS to turn over all Trump's records, Trump's tax records. Why? Why? And who's this pencil neck? I forgot the guy that they call pencil neck. Trump calls pencil neck. You know who I'm talking about. So anyway, I'm not sure if the IRS is going to appease the Democrats' order for tax records. In addition, Adam Schiff. Adam Schiff has been on television since the day Donald Trump got elected into office. Adam Schiff has been on television since the day with the story that he has evidence. He has evidence that there was Russian collusion. He said it. I watched his lips move this morning on television. He said the same thing. He has evidence. Yet in the 2 years, he has not divulged this information. He has not shown this evidence. He has not given this evidence to Mueller in order to change the outcome of this report. He has not. Yet for 2 years now, he's been saying he has evidence. The imbeciles, the uneducated people, believe this. Oh, he has evidence. But as soon as you ask them why in 2 years, 3 years, hasn't he released this evidence, they go into convulsions. Their brain just fries. They just can't answer the question. Well, he's got good reasons. So the Democrats want his tax records. But now the Democrats also want an investigation on Fox News. You might not have heard this, but Fox News now is the Democrats are accusing Fox News of a federal crime because they did not report Trump's extramarital affairs with either the porn star or prostitute. I'm not sure which one it is. Frankly, it doesn't matter. Fox News turned down the story because there was no credible evidence of the story. And this occurred many years when Fox News turned the story down. Yet, Democrats are threatening Fox News with breaking federal law. Since when does the government step in to determine when and if a news reporting agency reports a news article? Can anybody remember freedom of the press? That Acosta guy from CNN, what's his freaking name? Acosta. Keeps interrupting Donald Trump. Everybody came out. Oh, it's freedom of the press. He's intruding on freedom of the press. Well, today, not one news agency is screaming freedom of the press now. It's amazing. I talked about hypocrisy yesterday in yesterday's video. The hypocrisy of the left. Again, I'll say it again. I'm not a Republican, but I see evil. I got to call it out. And it's the left. So why do we prep? Why do we stack silver? We prep and stack silver because slowly our rights are being taken away from us. Slowly, over time, this country is turning from a soft socialist country to a hard socialist country, and many people do not know their history. When socialism doesn't work, they don't just end it. No. In order to force it to work, they bring in communism. That's why we prep. That's why we stock food. Along with socialism is high prices, food prices, interest rates, the outlaw of firearms and guns. Frankly, we've already won that battle, in my personal opinion. I mean, we already have it. Half the battle is getting it. I would say 3/4 of the battle is getting a gun nowadays. Once you got it, it's easy to keep, even if they want them back. You just lost it. That's all you tell them. Prove otherwise. You bury it somewhere, and you got a GPS coordinates of where you buried it. My point is, we prep in preparation. We don't need to worry so much about hard times, but just can't sit here and talk about silver 24/7 without talking about the reasons why we prep. And a lot of people hate it when I talk about the news, because I know a lot of you folks are Democrats, and I apologize if this is offensive to you when I talk about the news. But the bad news, unfortunately, is coming from the left. So I know I'm pissing off half my subscribers. I know it. I could see it in the views, and I don't care. Normally I have about 150 viewers on the live chat. Normally I do. But I don't care. It's down to 56 today. I noticed it yesterday on yesterday's live chat. Turning off a lot of people. I don't care. I don't care about their revenue. I don't care about their donations. I don't care about their negative comments. And by the way, that video yesterday that I made was demonetized. Demonetized due to the title. So I got some news. Our appraisal came in today. Now, it turned out that my wife knew the appraiser. Remember, I'm selling the home up in the mountains and buying a nicer home here. And my main concern was the buyer and whether the appraisal would meet what the buyer was buying our home for. It turns out when this appraiser came, my wife knew him from church. Needless to say, he went through the house, he documented everything, took lots of pictures. And he turned to my wife at the last moment as he was exiting the home, leaving the home. He says, I'll have your report ready for you in 24 hours, but don't you worry, I think it's going to appraise. And he gave my wife the thumbs up and he left. That's positive news. Positive news. So let's say hello to a few people. I'm going to work down towards the bottom of the list and work upwards today. Peter Oro, Jamar Butler, if I'm pronouncing any names wrong, I apologize. City Folk Gardening. I wouldn't say he hooked us up, but he did give us a little bit of comfort by saying, hey, don't worry about a thing. Just add Silver and Mike P. I'm not a Democrat nor Republican. I am a patriot and veteran. Thank you so much, Mike P. Lost for words. Thank you so much. Give a thumbs up, 49er. Superman, one of my favorite Marvel, not Marvel, what is he, DC Comics? He's one of my favorites. Hulk and Superman. Psalm 46:10, I don't prep for one single event, but because I don't know the future, I don't want to be prepared for a vast array. I mathematically, something eventually will happen. Well, at least prep with food. You can always prep for food if you don't prep at all. I know there's a vast array of things that can happen, but one thing that always occurs, the belly gets hungry. You can at least do that. So, let's see, 6 Hemi in the house. A negotiator. I haven't seen you in a while, man. Financial collapse. It's everybody. Democrat, Republican, Communist. Bruce McGrew, thank you in the house. Thank you for being in the house. I respect that approach. A dose of reality is needed. Big Bass Man in the house. And I already mentioned City Folk. Eddie's Little Stack. The goal of socialism is communism. That's all it is. Vladimir Lenin. And that's what I learned in college. It's just it's a stepping stone towards communism. And what is communism? Really, it's slavery. It really is. The only people who actually do well financially in socialism and communism is government and big business. Corporations. That's all that ever does well. And the entities who turned against the people, like news media outlets, a lot of people don't know in Germany and Russia, the news media outlets, they didn't have television news in the days of of what I'm talking about, but they put out papers and pamphlets. They were all killed. They were all rounded up and shot. Well, you turned on the people, you'll certainly turn on us eventually. That's how the government took care of the news media outlets who were fighting for the government. You see what I'm saying? The news, the news thought they can be buddies with that communist government. The news of those days turned against the people. The government remembered. Says, hey, look how easily you turned against the people, your own people. Thanks. Appreciate the help. But now you're a loose end. Turn your back. Put the blindfold on. Bang, you're dead. Zip Fix Guitars. Let's go to the bottom where all the newer comments are now. Gerald Woodward, thank you so much for being here. Scott Smith, unfortunately, we are still all slaves to the United States of America Corporation. So, yes, you asked about it. I'll talk about it. Cryptos. I made some money on cryptos last night. Yeah, I did. Most of my, and I think I mentioned it yesterday, but after reviewing my cryptos, most of my Litecoin was purchased at at $30, $28, $30. It went up to $80 last night. Just saying. Bitcoin. I only have about $100 worth of Bitcoin, unfortunately. It went up to almost $200 last night. My Ethereum jumped up, because I don't have much Ethereum. I jumped up, I would say, another $50 just on my Ethereum. I'm just amazed. I'm amazed for all those naysayers out there who are, I respect the fact that they're nervous to get into something new. What was 93 minutes ago? Lost rewards, 400 to 500 is the ideal year stack to shoot for. Coin shops will buy at any price. Good job on the cryptos. And I'm not lying. Go check out the crypto markets. I mean, and what's important is if you pull out before they take a dive again and then reinvest that money. Big Bass, man. Very nice, Harvey. I want to get out of California and into Nevada or Arizona. Oh man, think twice before going to Arizona. I loathe Arizona. Litecoin, Philosopher B's in the house. Does cryptos go up and down? Absolutely, they sure do. The trick is to sell when they're up. And once they fall back down, reinvest. Or what they call just hodl, just ride out the storms. Because it'll be just like silver. It'll start down here and go do all the dips. And it'll go dips, and then, but eventually it goes, the main trajectory is kind of upwards. I like Texas, Harvey Birdman. I mean, when I was at Fort Sam, Houston, Texas, stationed there for a little over a year, I really liked Texas. Yeah, I can tell there's only 68 in the room right now. They just don't like it when I talk real life. They want to live in that fantasy world. They want to hear only good things. They want to smoke their opium. They want to be told that the world is perfect and let's just talk silver. Let's just talk silver. Let's just talk silver. It's like, okay. So I think wherever Californians move to, yes, they tend to pollute the politics. They complain and hate California, They hate the high taxation and cost. So what do? They move and they vote for the same bullshit that got them into the situation in California. Yeah. Same thing with illegals. They're running away from persecution. And what do? They vote for the same shit. They live the same type of lifestyle. I'll tell you what, man. Not all, and there's Californians here. I mean no disrespect, because obviously I'm generalizing. But every time I meet a Californian, whether I was living in Florida, New York, Arizona, wherever, I can always tell there was something different about them. They're just kind of quirky. Quirky, is that the word? Very quirky, very, I don't know. Firecrest, I agree with you 100%. Thank you very much, first of all, for being in the room. If it wasn't for the taxes, New York State, and I'm from the Buffalo and Rochester area, so I know what I'm talking about, is stunning. Just flippin' stunning. Will I do any live streams while on vacation? Not while I'm in the parks, but perhaps at night from a hotel room, or perhaps at night from a pool, from one of the swimming pools at the hotel I'm staying at. Providing that to do a live stream, you have to have a pretty strong wireless connection. That what I'm talking on is right now is just a tablet and it's wireless. So it all depends. It really does. Dan Pagel in the house, thank you so much. And Robert R, thank you very much for the question. Why is a wire transfer preferred on the sites? What's up? 30 years new stacker. Enjoy the videos. Haven't made my first purchase yet. I'm thinking you're talking silver. I don't know why the wire transfers are the preferred method of payment. Perhaps because the seller gets the payment instantly. It's verified and cannot be taken back from them. That could be why. Hey, but Frank, you can always call them up and they'll answer that question for you. Thank you, the player MKC, thank you. $50 in the house. Californians moving to Texas. Yeah, and they'll vote for the same bullshit that they voted for in California. They'll demand that California open up all their borders. They'll demand that everybody gets free everything. They'll ruin that economy. They're like a virus. They'll ruin that economy. The housing market and everything will just go up just like California, and they'll move to another location. They're like I was going to use the F word. They're like a virus. Big Bass Man, so you're talking about Fort Sam, Houston, Texas. I was stationed there between 1983 and 5, give or take. I don't think I was quite there in 85. I think I think I left Fort Sam for Fort Fitzsimmons in about late 84. Catfish in the house, Duke, Master of Coin. Stephen Parsons, thank you so much. I'm 94 F10, believe it or not. I was hospital dietitian. I went into the health industry. 94 F10. And it's funny, for 94 F10, I remember the prerequisition was cooking. I had to go to cooking school for 94 F10. It's so funny to work in a hospital as a dietitian. So when somebody comes in with an ailment, your job was basically to get them on the certain diet, whether You know, if they had high blood pressure, it'd be low salt and low this and no caffeine. Oh boy. Yeah, so in New York, I think New York City is just basically Democrat. It's out once you get out of New York City and the five boroughs, it's all conservative, pretty much. But the city, the five boroughs, man, that's where your population is, and that's why they always vote the way they do. Yeah, California, I like the state. I love traveling to it. I can say that because I'm in and out. I'm in for a few days. I'm enjoying the vacation and I'm out. I don't have to live with its politics. So when I travel, Demon Hunter, great question. First of all, there's always silver in my car. There's always about 20 ounces in my bug out bag. Maybe not even that much. I'll have to admit, there's probably about 10 now that I think about it. It's always in the car. It's always in the back. So if I drive somewhere, that traveling, yes, there's always silver with me. I don't carry silver. I'll sometimes carry 1 ounce in my pocket when I fly. Why? Because the freaking bag, the people, when you go through the x-ray and shit, I've heard stories that they'll confiscate silver or gold or whatnot. They suspect something is awry. So I just don't carry it with me. Plum Turtle, thank you again so much. I really do mean that. I know, I think yesterday you did a super chat like that. Thank you very, very much. PayPal is the same, I think. I don't know what your question is. I don't know what you mean. Yeah, they're like locusts, the player MC. They're like locusts. They move. It's kind of like that. If you ever watched The Matrix, Mr. Smith, you humans are like locusts, and he wipes the sweat off of Fishburne's forehead and smells it. You guys are like locusts. You stink. You smell, or something like that. It's when what's Fishburne's character? Morpheus gets caught and he's tied to that chair just before the big helicopter scene. Reality Dog in the House. Overtax. Walk us through a $100 minimum wage situation in hypothetical. Can you imagine the damage? Well, let's break it down to easier terms. Let's talk about a minimum wage of $20. You asked for it. Let's just say minimum wage was $7 an hour. And you're able to bring home, we'll just call them widgets. You're able to bring home 7 widgets. And that widgets could be anything from groceries to lumber to paint, you name it. You're only able to bring home 7 widgets with $7 an hour. Meanwhile, you got people who make $30 an hour, $20 and $30 an hour. You got people who make $15 an hour, $7 an hour. You get a raise. You get a raise to $10 an hour. Your employer is mandated that he must pay you $10 an hour. The employer is going to do one or multitude of things to compensate for that new regulation. One or a combination of things. One, he's going to raise prices of the products he sells. That normally always happens. 2, cuts hours. 3, automates, meaning a couple of employees get cut and they put in a couple of, let's say, cash registers. 4, move out of state or country to another country. One or a combination of things. So you got your $10 an hour now. Because he raised prices, you're only able to bring home the same amount of widgets. You're still only able to bring home 7 widgets. Oh, you would have thought you would have been able to bring home 10 widgets because you got a $3 pay increase. No. In order to compensate, in order to pay you your wages, he had to raise prices. And I want you to think about something. This is a great analogy. We all knew people in grade school and high school that brought candy to school and would sell it. We all knew those people. When he went to the store in the morning to pick up his candy, to bring it to school, if there was a price increase, he would come to school and he would charge you a little extra. It's just natural. Person receiving minimum wage increase, it does not help them financially. More digits in a bank does not mean more purchasing power. That's the word I'm working for. Your purchasing power stays the same. You know who benefits in a minimum wage increase the most? Is government. Huh? Yes, government. Remember, taxes are based on a percentage that you make. Who makes out the most? Government. They get to take more taxes out of your paycheck. I'm oversimplifying this. But I mentioned earlier in this video that you have people making above minimum wage. 15, 20, 25, 30. Their purchasing power is a little bit better. The person making $15 an hour is able to bring home 15 widgets before the minimum wage increase. He's able to bring home 15 widgets. The guy who's making $30 an hour is able to bring home 30 widgets. Well, you just got your minimum wage increase. Employer raises prices. Guess what? The guy who makes above minimum wage, he has to no longer can bring home 15 widgets. Now he can only bring home 13 widgets because the prices were increased. His minimum wage did not increase. Therefore, he has less buying power. That's why I always say minimum wage doesn't really affect the guy getting a minimum wage increase. His purchasing power remains the same. It hurts everybody who makes above minimum wage, and it only helps government because their taxes are based on a percentage of your paycheck. I can go on and on a little bit more scientifically, but I just wanted to really keep it simple, stupid kind of mentality. What the heck is a widget? A widget is something marketers and financial analysts talk about. Widget is a word for, it can mean anything. We just call it widget. I could have said 15 lumber. I could have said 15 gallons of milk. 15 items. Think of it as items. That's what a widget is. Volkswagen Planet in the house. Stephen Parsons says, I'm 100% right. Thank you, Stephen Parsons. Philosopher B's minimum wage is a precursor to socialism. Car mechanic makes 25 bucks an hour. He's specialized, you know, he should make 25 bucks an hour, but he makes 25, he's able to purchase 25 widgets. His purchasing power is 25 widgets. When they mandate a minimum wage increase from 7 to 10 to 15, he has to live with higher prices. His purchasing power goes down. He doesn't get, the person making above minimum wage doesn't also get a raise, does he? No. And you got these imbeciles who make above minimum wage saying, yeah, they should make above minimum wage. You got imbeciles who make above minimum wage who have no clue, who are advocating for minimum wage increases. Don't even know they're giving themselves a pay cut. Don't even know that. How are they giving themselves a pay cut? Because when they go to the store the next day or the next month, the prices are more expensive. The guy who brings in the car, he might not be able to afford to bring in the car anymore. It all shit rolls downhill. Philosopher B's widget equals a unit of goods or services. Again, the biggest winner in a minimum wage increase is government, both state and federal. Why? Why do government fight for minimum wage? You think they really care about this guy, this schmuck who's making only $7 an hour or $10 an hour? When has government really ever cared? No. They know if they can get everybody's wages increased, first of all, they'll make friends because people are too stupid mathematically to understand what minimum wage is. Second is they'll make money off the schmuck. Oh man, his minimum wage went from $10 an hour to $12 an hour. We taxed him 30% of his paycheck. His paycheck went up $2 an hour. Times all the millions of people on minimum wage. Oh shit, we made bank. Oh boy. They act like they care about you. They can care less about the people. Look at California. Look at all the homeless camps across the country. They could care less. They drive by in their Mercedes and their limos, and they just look straight. They don't even look at the camps or the homeless. They go back to work the next day, get on their freaking microphone and camera and podium and tell the world how you should vote for them because they care about the homeless that they drive by every day and ignore. Oh, Lord. Big Bass, man. Thank you. So universal basic income. How do you think they're going to pay for that? I usually use the analogy of pulling a cart, where you have 10 men pulling a cart that maybe has 1 or 2 people in the cart. It's quite easy for those 10 men to pull the cart with only 2 men in there. 2 men is an analogy for people on welfare or receiving free stuff. Third man who was pulling now gets in the cart. Fourth man, a fifth man. Eventually, the cart is harder and harder to pull. The men pulling are an analogy of working people, people who are paying their taxes through their paychecks. The less people who are working, the harder it is for them to pull. So the more people who decide to screw this, I'm not working no more. How do you think they're going to continue to pay for all this free stuff if less and less people are working? On top of that, how do you think they're going to fix all the streets and everything they are promising? No, the shit's all going to come down. Shit's all going to come down. And eventually they're going to say, we don't have money to feed you folks. And the people in the cart are going to get all freaking indignant. Well, we want ours. We want ours. We got 10 kids to feed. We want our free stuff. That's ours. You know, that's how they roll nowadays. Nobody wants to work. Nobody wants to work anymore. They think reality is what they see on TV. Take care, Big Bass Man. I appreciate it. Thank you for your support. My thoughts on people on disability. Well, I'll give you my thoughts. There's people who are really disabled. You deserve it. And then there's people who claim they're disabled. Fuck you. Excuse my language. I apologize. I feel very passionate about this. People who are disabled or on Social Security, I've got nothing against you. You put into the system, we're cool. It's people who lie about being, lie to get on Social Security when there's kids in their teens. No, that's an exaggeration. Well, there might be, but there's kids in their 20s who are on Social Security. I can't work. My daddy hit me, and I am traumatized. I can't work. I can't be around people. They're on disability. They never freaking put in. They're on Social Security and never even worked a day in their life really to get any Social Security taken out of their paycheck. But they're on Social Security. I don't give a damn what your ailment is. If you didn't put into the system, you shouldn't get out of it. It's like an investment, insurance. You didn't put into it. You don't put into your freaking house burning down or fire insurance or home whatever insurance. Why should your house be rebuilt by insurance companies after the fire or tornado or whatnot? I'm 56. I've been working since I was 13 years old. Started with a newspaper route. I won't get Social Security. Some freaking kid will get it. Will get what I'm putting into the system. It's wrong. You got people. Now, I already said that I don't mind people who are on disability. But there are people who got themselves in that bad health. They were warned not to do drugs. They were warned not to smoke. They were warned not to drink. They were warned not to do heroin. They've done it their entire lives. They're now in their 40s or 50s and their bodies are falling apart. They're on disability. We got to pay for them. So there's two classes of disability. People who just naturally got disabled through old age and the people who did it to themselves. I don't like that. We shouldn't have to be paying for the people who did it themselves their entire life. They partied and drank all their lives. Yeah, I know it's a government Ponzi scheme, $50, but it's sold to us as insurance. The government turned it into a Ponzi scheme. Silver Wolverine is correct. There are a lot of illegal aliens who are now on Social Security, who have not put into the system. Or they came here legally as disabled, never put into the system. They're legal citizens now, and they qualify for Social Security. Never contributed into the pot of money. I don't believe that. You didn't buy the insurance, you shouldn't reap the reward. Whatever kind of insurance it might be. You go wreck your car without insurance? Do you have the right to get that car repaired or anything? No, it's wrong. But it's a way of buying votes. It really is. Keeping the people docile. also. Yeah, it's amazing, Reality Dog. More and more people every day are riding in electric carts, little carts in the store. It's amazing now. I say drug test for food stamps also, Dan M. I'm with you. I'm with you. Wow, I'm up to 99, 101 people in the room. I guess my politics is not pissing people off today that much. Yesterday, boy, I can tell. They were just freaking, you know, checking out. I've got 50 likes though. Only 50 likes. Come on, I'm working hard here. And that's why we prep. The bottom line is, I've been going on purposefully with this attitude now for 46 minutes. I'm trying to demonstrate why we need to prep, why we need to get food storage, guns, ammos, tools, why we stack silver and gold. I'm trying to demonstrate, articulate, draw an image of why we prep, why we put away food storage and tools and guns, ammo, why we do that. And that's what I'm trying to achieve here. It really is. I need to learn how to yeah. So I did set up a Patreon account. I don't know how long YouTube is going to allow us patriots to talk on their platform. I really don't. So I've taken some advice from other YouTube channels, and I got a Patreon account. If you would, just look up Overtaxed Taxpayer. I forgot my own name for a second there. On Patreon, and subscribe to that channel. Now, it's not about the money for me. I set it up to where you do not have to pay a lick. You can, though, join one of the levels, and a lot of other Patreons don't allow this. A lot of other Patreons, you must join. You must pay. You're more than welcome to join for free. I can care less. But if you would like, join at one of the lower levels, is all I got to say. Did I smoke my dinner tonight? No, I did not. I did not. I live in North Florida, and I guess because of the hurricanes, most people are preppers, even if it's only for 1 week. That's good. I mean, that's good. Robert R., thank you for being in the house. Thank you also for watching my video. It's true. Lawyers are telling kids how to talk to the judge, are guiding them, are counseling them how to talk to judges. They're counseling illegal aliens and people how to get on Social Security, the correct verbiage to use, the correct keywords to use in order to get on Social Security. I've heard it. I've heard it from a lot of, let's just say, I know what's going on the inside a little bit. Yeah, I wish I had more Litecoin, Reality Dog. Man, I saw what it jumped to last night, and I almost had a heart attack. It's like thank you, Jay Bird. I sometimes love it when I rant, but you are rare. A lot of people do not like it when I rant about the news, rant about politics. They mistake me for bashing them because they're on that political party. I'm not bashing them. There's a difference between a liberal or Democrat citizen versus a liberal or Democrat government official. When I rant, please, if you're out there, I'm not beating you up. I'm just pointing out some bull crap in government. Dan Willow in the house, thank you. Dan Jakes, what? That's why you need to keep stacking. Some Social Security will be bankrupt. I won't get it. And I've been putting it in by force of a gun. They make us pay our taxes by force of a gun, by threat of jail. Does it seem fair that somebody who has not worked gets it? Does it really seem fair? When I'm too old or my body is broken, no longer for work, no longer able to work and earn my keep, my food, is it fair that somebody else is eating with my Social Security contributions and I'm not? Will it be fair on that day? When you're no longer able to work and feed your wife, but yet the family across town who has not contributed into Social Security is eating with your money? Is that fair? Anyway, folks, I'm going to take off. I've been on for an hour, and I don't know. I'll try to do another live chat tomorrow. I want to actually try to make a video tomorrow. Too many live chats is not good for the channel. A lot of people will only tune in because they have time to listen to 10 or 15-minute video, but they don't have time to listen to a 52-minute live chat. I respect that. It's a lot of time when you're working and you got a family. That's a reason why a lot of people do not tune into live chats. They just don't have that kind of time. So I might just do a video tomorrow. Anyway, I gotta run. I'm freaking starving like Marvin. What time is it? And you folks have a great night, okay? Take care of yourselves.